You are listening to a few bro dudes. We the best. That will make you laugh, cry, or both. The Vanilla Gorilla and Dropkick Mike try to be funny, but let's be honest. They need to try harder.
Yeah.
This is Double Barrel Doo-Doo Shooting.
Holy shit.
Who do we have?
We got Miss Raquel Rocky Pennington and her striking coach, Juan Gonzalez. Happy birthday.
Happy
Now
birthday to you, Juan.
Thank you.
You're an Olympic TKD, right?
I did some junior Olympic stuff, and then they started changing the rules a little bit. Can you use our hands to like block kicks, things like that? And I just kind of got away from enjoying it as much. So then I started doing K1 kickboxing and
little Muay Thai.
Yeah, I love Muay Thai, but I got to stick with my Taekwondo roots.
Now your brother competes as well.
He did, yeah. He's the one who kind of got me started. He was doing Taekwondo, and so that's kind of how I got pulled in. Actually, it's so funny because I wanted to start martial arts originally because of Power Rangers, and now they're redoing the movie.
That's amazing.
And I'm nervous that it's not going to be good, that they're going to ruin it, but yeah.
Did you audition?
For the movie? Yeah, no.
Absolutely.
What Ranger would you want to be if you could?
Jason David Frank was my, that's who got me started, the White Power Ranger.
That was your shit.
Yeah, dude. My brother was Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, and for me...
Why not the black one?
I don't even remember his name. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Everybody remembers Tommy, dude.
Do we really want to see Juan in a pair of white tights?
I would pay for that. I would definitely do that.
You ever seen Juan in a pair of white tights, Rocky?
Nope.
Any interest in that at all? None.
He has some nice legs. Fill out pretty good.
You know what we need to do?
You
know what we need to do? We need to have a tight pants podcast.
I don't know about that.
No, straight up. My big ass and a pair of spandex.
That's the part I don't know about.
This is beautiful. I mean, the sun will be shining, clouds will go away, and birds will be chirping and shit.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
So,
you're going to chomp
How are you?
You're going to chomp that gum the whole
Mr.
time?
Yeah,
Rocky.
I was about to say the same thing.
What'd you say?
So my biggest pet peeve is chomping gum, right? that's
And we can
all I'm
hear
hearing
you.
Right now. Spit it
I'm
out.
not going to fucking argue with
Spit
you.
it
The
out.
gum is gone.
Dude, she wants to punch me in the face all the time when
Juan's
she's cutting
like-
weight, and I'm chomping gum.
And I'm like,
See-
give it now. And he spits it out in my hand like a kid because
Okay.
otherwise I'm going to slap him.
But you know what, though? I have this thing, and it's always been a thing. And I fought locally and over the country for a long, long time, too. And everywhere we'd go, people would want to punch me in the face. And I would say, hell yeah, just do it. So, my back teeth were all broken in half, and I'd be spitting out my teeth and putting it in their hands and laughing at them and go get a beer. So, yeah. So, if you want to punch me, I will take a punch from Rocky.
We got to
I
film
feel
it,
like
though.
that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
But when's the last time that happened?
What?
I kind of, got past that.
I don't know. It was last year, wasn't it?
No.
Kind of mature.
Are you sure it wasn't during the fights?
No.
I know there was an emergency room visit.
Oh, that was years ago, man. But that wasn't
That was
for me.
only at most 2 years ago.
But that wasn't for me.
Right. But
Dude
you
hit
guys
me in
were-
the nuts.
But you were punching
and
each other and
I
stuff.
caught him with the right hand and split his ear almost completely halfway off. And we had to go to the emergency room. Well, we ended up at other bars for the next few hours. And he just got blood running down. And
Were you
I was in Crocs and pajamas, mind you.
Were you a bouncer in Springs?
I did bounce for a long time.
It's like a rite of passage. Raquel was a bouncer. I was a bouncer.
I was a bouncer.
Yeah, it's like a rite of
what we
passage
do.
for.
That's how we roll.
Where were you a bouncer?
I was
The
she was
mansion.
bouncer in the
mansion?
mansion. Yeah.
And blondies and that whole little section.
Now, when were you doing that?
Actually, right before the Ultimate Fighter. It was just something I was doing to have fun on the side while I was training and everything. And then I went to go try out for the Ultimate Fighter, and when I knew that I made it onto the show, I kind of just quit doing everything.
Who was head of the security then? Was it Jamie? Was Jamie running all the bouncers then?
Jeff.
Okay, so it wasn't Jamie Baker.
No.
Bozo still working with you
Who?
at the time? Bozo was the doorman at not Blondie's.
Mansion.
No, the one
Gasoline
next
Alley?
Gas Alley. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an actual nickname?
What? His name was Bozo. Yeah.
Oh.
He looked like a homeless dude. Wild, crazy hair.
Okay. Undercover bouncer.
So UFC bantamweight contender Rocky.
Soon to be champion.
That's
Raquel
me.
Pennington. Yeah, going to be champ. We have no doubt.
That is the game plan.
No doubt in our minds. Retired Misha, right? Ended up doing that. How hard was that for you to fight her? I know you guys must have built some sort of relationship on The Ultimate Fighter, her being your coach.
Yeah, I mean, you meet some pretty cool people throughout the sport, you know? It just brings together cool peeps. And I don't know. We built a friendship. She was my coach and everything else. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's business in there. So
Absolutely.
when it comes to it, she's kind of standing in the way of what I want. It was really fun for me in that fight to see like where I've really grown to. Because I remember watching Misha and just like really like idolizing her. And then all of a sudden I fight her.
You've never had an easy fight, in
Heck
my
no.
opinion. I mean, I don't think, especially in the UFC. I mean, one of my favorite fights was when you fought Betch Cahaya. That fight was just so back and forth. I mean, that was just awesome watching you guys stand in the pocket and just trade. It was like insane. You'd have her up against the cage. She'd turn you around, get you up against the cage. Was she strong or how did you feel? You just totally numbing it or what?
Yeah, she wasn't. I don't know. It's funny because I mean, I guess from training with all the guys and everything, it's just they give me so much strength that when I go against all these other girls, nobody feels strong. Their punches don't hurt, and I haven't come across one girl that's just like, man, that punch was a solid punch. There's punches that obviously I've gotten some cuts from and everything else when you're making contact, but nothing that's ever phased me. And with Betch, I mean, I expected her to be something different, and it completely come out. I mean, you've seen her fight.
Yeah,
she likes to come out all crazy, and in that fight, she was just really hesitant. And so it was just, I don't know, it was different. It's kind of fun. I like to challenge myself. I don't take easy fights. I don't believe that you should. You have so many girls. Let's, Holly Holm? Mm-hmm. Who padded this record here? And then now all of a sudden she's facing talent. And where is she standing? She's on a losing streak.
But she's 3 out now.
3-fight losing streak.
Well, I think the UFC has a tendency to do that. They find somebody that has like a good Muay Thai record or a good boxing record, and they bring them in, and they're hoping that this is going to be the next big one in the division. When you've got talent like Rocky that's coming in and fighting her way up from amateur ranks. I mean, she's got an amazing record in amateur and pro. You've only been finished one time, right? And we won't talk about that, but I mean, she's worked her way up to it. She deserves this, and I love that you're finally getting recognition for it. Are you seeing a change in the way you're being treated by Dana or any other aspect of the fight game?
I wouldn't say a change with Dana. You know, Dana, I was very quiet on the show. I kind of just stuck to myself and went through everything that I was supposed to do. And Dana, he's seen something within me, and it kind of created a little bit of problems in the show. Everybody was getting jealous because Dana was kind of giving me a lot of attention. He was just like, this aura that you have about you, I see a ton of talent in you. And he told me that from the beginning. He's like, if you figure everything out, you can easily be world champion. And he's like, so I just want to watch you grow. So him and the guys at UFC have like believed in me since they met me. And that's something pretty cool. I mean, they're around thousands of fighters and see fights all the time. So to see it come from somebody like that, I mean, what kind of, you know what I mean? Like confidence booster can that be?
Yeah.
So as far as everything else, I mean, yeah, the more that I fight and everything, the more recognition that's out there. It's like I can't go anywhere in Springs or when I travel at every single airport or anywhere I go, really. It's just people are always there and big fans. But it's really cool to see like all the people that I'm inspiring. It motivates me more.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I told my wife that I wouldn't tell the story, but it was hilarious because I think it was you and Tisha. You guys were in one of the sports stores in the mall, and like she knew who you were, and I think it was Tisha. She wasn't sure, but anyway, she was so embarrassed. Like she was right behind you, and she was with my daughter, and she was like, "Oh my God, it's Rocky! It's Rocky!" And
celebrity status.
You know, the best part is there's so many people that are like scared to come up and talk to me or whatever. They'll see me, but then they'll turn around and write me on one social net, and they're like, "We've seen you today. We wish we'd have took a picture." And I'm like, "You're welcome to come up and talk to me." But I've had some funny stories. Mainly, it's the guys that send their wives to come talk to me. So that way, because there was one, I was at the grocery store, I was at Walmart. And this lady comes up to me and she's like, "My husband is a huge fan of yours." And I was like, "Oh, well, where's he at?" And she's like, "I don't know." And she's like looking around. And we look and he's like peeking around the corner from the frozen section. But he wouldn't come talk to me. And this dude was like in his 40s.
Oh my!
It's just
ancient.
No, but you would think that he would want to come talk, and he was just. It's funny. Some people they get really starstruck and everything else, and it's just, I don't know.
Well, I've got a friend of mine named Megan Loggins who is probably going to die when she hears this, but and her nickname is Mojo. She is like a huge fan of yours, has been since your amateur career, and she's no longer living in Colorado. But when I told her that you were going to be on the show, she was the first one on Facebook. Like within seconds, it was like, "Are you kidding me right now? Oh my God, she is my favorite fighter of all time." So
That's
you got to give a shout out to Mojo, and I got a picture for you to autograph for her. I'm going to send it to her as a little surprise.
Oh, there we go.
If that's cool with you.
Thanks for all the love and support, Mojo.
Mojo.
So let's rewind it a little bit. Tell me a little bit about, I know that you were involved in a lot of athletics in like your high school years, right? What did you play?
What didn't I play?
What
I
didn't
think
you
is the
play?
question.
So-
I just grew up being an athlete. I mean, I started playing baseball with my cousins when I was younger, and then it just went into football, basketball, volleyball, softball, ran cross country, did some track, some gymnastics.
just about everything you could do.
Nothing martial arts.
Right.
But, yeah, everything
you
else.
had no martial arts background when you were younger?
No, just besides the fact of street fighting with all my guy cousins.
Were you? Okay, so came up a little bit rough. Now, you were brilliant, right? I mean, you had academic scholarships, you had sports scholarships. I mean, most people think of fighters as taking that route because that's the only way they can go. You had options. You had the ability to go and go to colleges and do whatever you wanted to do. I know you didn't play on a collegiate level because you had a back injury, right? You ended up breaking your back. How did that happen?
Snowboarding.
Really?
It wasn't even exciting either.
she
It's
still
not like I was
snowboards.
like going and doing backflips and all this other stuff. We actually just left the train park and we were going to go ride down the slopes. And I was actually fixing my glove. I rode across a sheet of ice and the front edge of my board hooked, spun me around. And the way I flew back, I ended up breaking my lower back and giving myself a brutal concussion. So kind of shifted things for me. But I mean, like you said, I was going to school and doing the whole pre-med thing, and that's when I changed it. I was in school, and then I decided to focus on academics a little bit more, and then I was just kind of getting back into shape. And then fighting was more of a joke. I mean, I have this crazy back injury, and I told my mom I was just going to go fight. We were watching the first team I started with. They were practicing wrestling and judo and everything, and they're just tossing each other around. I was like, I'm going to do that.
And how did Mom feel?
Surprisingly, she was like, go for it. But then 4 months later, when I came home and said, hey, we're going to Wyoming for my first fight, oh, that was a whole new story.
So Mom wasn't on board with you actually going out and climbing the cage.
She was really nervous about it, and she was just, my mom's like, she's always been the biggest support. So, I mean, she'll have things to say about it, but then she's like, you know what? At the end of the day, it's your choice. Let's go. So we drove to Wyoming. Her and my cousin Tommy, they were the only ones that like went up there with a few teammates and my coach to support me. And we were just having fun. I kept going up to Wyoming. I was getting booed left and right by all the cowboys up there. And I was beating all the local girls. And then all of a sudden, I just like won over Wyoming. And they kept wanting me back. And it just, one fight after another kept rolling in. And I just fell in love with it.
Now, did you start training complete MMA, jiu-jitsu, stand-up, all of it all at one time? Or did you start out like learning some jiu-jitsu and then it evolved into striking?
Heck no, I got fed to the wolves. I walked in and I said, hi, my name's Raquel Pennington. What's it like to train in here? And he's like, oh, why don't you come in tomorrow and try it out? And tomorrow happened to be sparring day. And he's like, you got gloves or anything? I was like, no. So he hands me some hand reps and I was like, what do I do with these? And he's like, you don't know how to wrap your hands? And I was like, I have zero experience. So he wrapped my hands and he's like, all right, go out there and get a partner. And I was like, we're going to punch each other already? He's like, yep. And I was like, screw it. And I just went for it. And I think that's one thing that really helped me to progress to where I am, because I mean, I basically got fed to the wolves and I just had to figure it out. And I was going home and YouTube and stuff and watching stuff. I love visualization. So I was doing that. And then I was wrestling with my cousins, or if I'd learned a new move or watch something, I was practicing it on my mom in the living room.
Nice.
And yeah, she got the worst end of the deal. So, but yeah, I just kind of got fed to the wolves, and my first session ever was sparring.
That's amazing.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
No, I mean,
Kind of acclimate you, man.
Yeah, and Juan, as a coach, I mean, you've got to find that in Rocky, that she's just willing to go and do anything you.
know,
ask her to
that's
do.
the difference between training guys and girls. Like, if I tell Raquel, she walks in the gym, what are we doing? I say 1,000 push-ups, 1,000 pull-ups. She'd be like, okay. I'll have a guy be like, what? Why? She don't complain about nothing. She just does everything I say.
I thought you were just calling me a guy for a second.
No.
I was like, wait a minute, what?
No, that's what that's why I love training Raquel. I mean, I can say, hey, we're going to try this.